Okay, so like I said, we are going to be talking about using AV over IP and video in corporate event spaces, conference rooms, things like that. So if you have any questions about anything that we go over today, because this is going to be a little bit more of a high level overview and not going into a ton of specific product details, but if you do have any questions, make sure to give us a call, 800-323-2325. So let's get right into it, starting out with the fact that we do have products that will help you upgrade your video conferencing, your conference rooms, your corporate AV productions, training, HR, stuff like that. Everything that has to do with corporate video, we have products that can help streamline those things, all the way from just making your Teams and Zoom calls look better, all the way up to again making like your own training product videos, or just training for HR and stuff like that. So let's start right away with talking about how we can make better video conferencing. Um, there are a couple different ways that you can go about doing that. If you wanted to incorporate a camera into a Teams call instead of using the webcam that is built into your laptop or computer, you have the ability to do that with USB video grabbers. You can also just completely replace your webcam with a box camera or even a PTZ camera. So let's talk about some of the ways that you can use a USB capture card. Now, there are a bunch of different capture cards that are available. Epiphan makes their AVIO capture cards, and they basically have one in HDMI, one in HDMI 4K, and then another one in SDI. And as you can see right here, basically you plug in your SDI camcorder or whatever kind of camera you're using, and then it has a USB out that you plug into your computer, and now you can have a camcorder or a DSLR or a mirrorless camera, and that will show up on your computer as a webcam. DVDO is another brand that also makes capture cards. They have HDMI capture cards, no SDI capture cards, but they have HDMI capture cards available in both 1080 and 4K as well. But one of the differences with the DVDO ones is if you wanted to have that loop through capability, they have that option as well for both your HDMI video feed, and if you were using a separate microphone that you wanted to use to enhance your stream, you can also have the loop through of the audio come out with the HDMI to USB 3.0 capture dongle with HDMI loop out and separate audio input and output. So that's an easy way that you can get a camcorder or a DSLR or a mirrorless camera connected to your computer and just make you look that much nicer. The other thing is you could actually just get a box cam. There are quite a few different box cams that are on the market. They start right around $500, so it's not a huge investment, but you get an optical zoom, you have better framing. Usually it's going to be a bigger sensor than your webcam, so you get a shallower depth of field that'll do a little bit better in low light. So these are just really good things to have to really enhance even just putting the camera right on top of your monitor. You have something like this BirdDog MAKI here, which is very small, but this is going to be a much better image quality than your built-in webcam. This is also PTZOptics Studio Pro. Studio Pro is nice because it comes also with a nice little light on top of it with a hot shoe, so you could, maybe you don't need the light and you want to put a microphone on it, you have that ability. So the PTZOptics Studio Pro is a great option as well. But then also both BirdDog and PTZOptics have other box cameras that are available, including the Studio 4K from PTZOptics and the BirdDog MAKI Ultra, which are both 4K options. So definitely a bunch of different box cameras that are available on the market. And if you really want to take your game up to the next level, that's when you want to start looking at PTZ cameras. Now, that is something that we talk about a lot on Videoguys. And as you can see here, we have PTZ cameras from a bunch of different manufacturers: BirdDog, Canon, DVDO, JVC, Marshall, Panasonic, PTZOptics, and VizRT all make PTZ cameras. I wanted to talk about the BirdDog Max specifically because the BirdDog Max has the ability to match whatever your corporate AV colors are, because they are available in black, white, green, blue, and beige. And these are, again, not super expensive. They are just under $900, and you get a 4K 30p PTZ camera with the 12x zoom. So if you really want to be able to take your live streaming and your video conferencing to the next level, absolutely look at some of either these capture cards to get an existing camera into your computer, a box cam, or maybe even a PTZ camera. And like I said, we have a ton of manufacturers that make PTZ cameras. Absolutely give us a call at 800-323-2325, and we will help you find the right PTZ camera for your office. Now, since we're talking about ways that you can make yourself look better, I wanted to also talk about some of the newest AV technology that is available specifically with PTZ cameras, and then also integration with API from some of the production systems that are available on the market. So of course, auto tracking, and then a new and exciting technology that is getting more and more advanced is voice tracking. Now, auto tracking, we talk about this a lot. It's the ability to have a camera track you wherever you go. Most, if not all, PTZ manufacturers offer some kind of auto tracking included in their PTZ cameras. BirdDog, Canon, DVDO, HuddleCam HD, JVC, Panasonic, and PTZOptics all offer auto tracking on their PTZ cameras. I wanted to show you a little clip from HuddleCam HD with from them, because theirs is pretty cool. It has two lenses on it. It has one that's a wide angle lens, which can see everything, and then you can do a little bit more with blocking off and things like that. And Tess from HuddleCam did a great demo video on that. So let's play that real quick.
The SimpleTrack 3 allows you to define tracking zones around your subject. You can automatically set the camera to track or stop tracking based on the selected zone. The camera offers 3 zones. The tracking area encompasses anywhere an auto-tracking camera might go across your frame. The blocking zone is set anywhere that could be tracked that shouldn't be, such as individuals walking by the doorway, whiteboard, or TV screen where you want auto-tracking to stop. The preset zone is an automatic preset that triggers if the subject enters that selected zone. This could trigger any preset you like, such as switching to a separate camera or turning on a stage light. The SimpleTrack 3 emulates a broadcast camera operator with advanced hands-free auto tracking even in a crowded space. Seek manual control? Turn off auto tracking and switch to manual mode using IP settings, or utilize the provided RS-232 cable for operating the SimpleTrack 3. This enables you to use a PTZ joystick controller or our specialized camera control applications. With its dual sensor auto tracking, platform compatibility, and its preset zones for monitoring key areas, the SimpleTrack 3 is truly an auto tracking camera for everyone. Thanks to its smooth tracking and zooming capabilities, using just one camera will make it feel like you have a whole production team. The SimpleTrack 3, auto tracking made simple.
So as you can see, auto tracking has come a long way, especially over the past couple of years. And like I said, these come pre-installed on a lot of the PTZ cameras. You don't even need to host the auto tracking software on a computer anymore. The chips that are in the cameras now are smart enough to host the auto tracking right on the camera itself, and then be able to turn on and off a lot of the times, even with an IR remote. So it's really cool stuff. Now, something that is, again, new and exciting that has been becoming very popular is voice tracking, to be able to track who's talking. And so basically what this is doing is, when you have a microphone that either has directional awareness, there are directional microphones that are available that are compatible with Panasonic and PTZOptics cameras. that can then connect to the camera and tell the camera where the sound is coming from. And then the camera can go to a preset, which is really cool. But then also DVDO does something really cool where they actually just have multiple microphones on their cameras, and then they use the AI auto tracking technology to find the person that is talking. So, excuse me. It's a combination of directional microphones and then the camera picking up a face and knowing that the sound is coming from there and then following that voice. Now, this is available on their C7 PTZ camera. So they have this great little video demoing off that voice tracking feature. So let's play that video for you.
We are now showing you video directly from the DVDO C7.
The DVDO C7 integrates a panoramic camera, a close-up camera, and 6 positioning array microphones. Through professional voice positioning and 4K image analysis, the DVDO C7 accurately tracks who is speaking.
When anyone moves and enters the room, the camera adjusts to make sure all the participants are at the center of the table.
The intelligent voice tracking uses the 6 array microphones and a voice localization algorithm. The DVDO C7 can locate the sound source to track the speaker in the real time. The close-up camera can smoothly switch between speakers when there are different people speaking.
The AI smart framing and intelligent voice tracking are features that make the DVDO C7 a great camera for conference rooms, lecture, capture, online education, and houses of worship.
The DVDO C7 can broadcast live streaming with services such as YouTube and Facebook Live.
Now, before we move on to our next segment, I want to just give a couple shout outs to a couple upcoming shows. In a few weeks, we will be doing a show with BirdDog. Cameron Boyce from BirdDog will be joining us live for a show talking about the MAKI Lives, which is really cool and exciting. But also, because we're on the DVDO slide right here, we will be doing a launch webinar with them. We're very excited to have their capture cards and cameras and all of that, their HDMI, AV over IP extenders, a lot of really cool stuff from DVDO, and we're super excited to have them on our line card now and be able to talk about them with you. So definitely keep an eye out in the next couple weeks for a video dedicated to both BirdDog's MAKI Live and DVDO just in general. Now, the next thing that I wanted to talk about is production tools with API integration. So now, what is API integration? API integration allows production tools to be controlled and automated and connected with other systems or softwares like scheduling platforms, control rooms, or cloud services. A perfect example of these is like QSys or Crestron, something like that. Now, Epiphan is a perfect little production system that you can put into a conference room, into a studio, in multiple conference rooms, and then be able to connect again to something like QSys or Crestron to have all of your meetings all be in one place. You can schedule the Pearl systems to automatically turn on and start recording a meeting. If you know that you're doing a meeting every Tuesday at 3 o'clock Eastern, you can schedule the Epiphan Pearls to start doing that. They have 4 flavors of the Epiphan Pearl systems. They have the Epiphan Mini, Epiphan Nano, Epiphan Pearl Nexus, and the Pearl 2. This is the Pearl Mini right here in front of me. And this is really cool because it actually has a touchscreen on it. So when it is on and you have your cameras connected to it, you can actually see what's going on and see what the next scheduled event is. Now, Turtle is another manufacturer that we also took on pretty recently, and Turtle is big with AV with Dante AV. So both Dante AVA and Dante AVH. So Dante is really cool because, not Dante, Turtle is really cool because they have both the chassis, Dante AVH and AVA transmitters and receivers, encoders, decoders. But if you're just using the chassis 4K as an encoder, you can actually connect that directly to something, again, like QSys or Crestron. And they have both also the Darwin, which does not have Dante integration, but it does, it's a 1080 version, and it can do point-to-point or used for a video wall. So both Epiphan and Turtle have API integrations, and absolutely recommend taking advantage of that. Now, there are some other systems that have API integrations, and like I said at the top of the show, this is just an overview. If you have questions about maybe more about the Pearl family or Turtle's other converters that are available, absolutely give us a call at 800-323-2325. Now let's start talking about getting even more in your conference room and boardroom. One of the great things that is also, again, becoming very popular is having LED display walls, both in conference rooms, but maybe on the front of your building or in the lobby of your building, which is great for, in a conference room, it's great for being able to talk about whatever the meeting is about, but then also having them outside the building and in the lobby just makes you look a little bit more professional, and you can market things on a giant LED screen. So these are super high brightness and contrast. The thing with these, unlike a TV, instead of having, a couple hundred hours of lifespan, these things are meant to run nonstop for years and years and years and not have to worry about it. And then also, when we're specifically talking about absent LED walls, something like the Icon X series, you do have, they're pretty much plug and play. You can set them up in not that long. So if you are looking to get into the LED display technology, absolutely give us a call at 800-323-2325, and we can help find the right LED display wall for your company. Now, we're talking a lot about AV over IP, basically everything that we've talked about except for the capture cards at the very tippy top of the show have some form of AV over IP, and that can be either with NDI or with Dante. And the way that you get all of these AV over IP devices to communicate with each other is with a Netgear M4250 switch. So as you can see in this example here, you can have some equipment in a conference room connected to an M4250 switch, and you can have some gear connected to your equipment room, and then also have a control room, and they're all communicating back to your main core switch. And now anybody from any one of those rooms can access the devices from those other rooms, specifically with like NDI or Dante AVH. A good example is, having a couple cameras in a conference room and a couple microphones in the conference room, and then in your control room being able to have something like a TriCaster or something like that in that room to be able to then control those cameras without having to have, tons of different wires and stuff like that. And the great thing about Netgear is they're also making wireless access points that are also specifically designed for AV over IP. So again, if we're looking at something like the BirdDog X1 Ultra or a BirdDog MAKI Live, which are Wi-Fi compatible, you can also connect those very easily to a Netgear M4250 switch with a wireless access point. And since we're talking about being able to access your equipment from anywhere in the building, there are also a lot of different opportunities out there for remote production, not just in a different room, but in a completely different building. Being able to control cameras and switchers and audio remotely is super crucial, especially if you have multiple locations throughout the country or throughout the state, and you want to be able to have one centralized place. I'll give you a quick overview of the four products that are on the right there. PTZOptics Hive Studio is something that's really cool that allows you to control cameras from basically anywhere in the world. Their PTZ cameras come Hive-Linked, and the ones that aren't Hive-Linked will be getting an update in the very near future. To be able to be Hive-Linked right out of the box, you connect them to the internet, you connect them to your Hive Studio, and then now you can access that Hive Studio from a web GUI from anywhere in the world and be able to control all of those cameras in that building. Now, NDI Bridge is a little bit something a little bit similar with the ability to connect not just to PTZ cameras from anywhere in the world, but you can have a host and a join for NDI Bridge, and the host can then control all of the devices that are on the join with like KVM. This is great for being able to control a TriCaster remotely, or being able to control your PTZ cameras, or bringing in video sources from a different network into your network. And it's really cool. BirdDog Cloud is another PTZ cloud-based control for PTZ cameras, specifically for BirdDog's cameras. And LiveView Studios is kind of unique in that it is actually a switcher that is completely in the cloud. So you can use LiveView LiveView Solos, or an LU300 or an LU800 out in the field and send an SRT feed to LiveView Studio, and then those field units out in the field are sending their signals to the cloud, and then you can be anywhere connected to internet and then be able to mix and match those inputs as you see fit. So LiveView Studio is a really cool cloud-based switching, which is, again, just being able to have one centralized place to have all of your camera feeds going, to be able to control all of that. Now, we're talking mostly about being in a corporate office and, again, connecting to Teams or Zoom or any other web conferencing platform to be able to make yourself look as good as you can when doing your presentations. But all of this equipment can be used for other things. Think about what we are doing right now. We're using it for marketing. We're able to talk about all of these products, and we're using the products that we're talking about. For PR, if the owner of a company wants to make a statement, make a quick YouTube video, and you don't want to have to edit the YouTube video, have them come into a live production studio, record it right there, have all your graphics preloaded and ready to go. Same thing with like training. Think about outsourcing all of your training and how much that's going to cost. Whereas if you just have an empty office room and a couple PTZ cameras, a couple lights, and either a switcher or a recorder of some sort, and then just making all of your training videos in-house. And same thing for product releases. Anytime that a new product comes out, we always talk about it either on a Videoguys live show, or we make a product spotlight, and you can do that for your products as well. Just because we are talking about cameras doesn't mean that you can't talk about the latest and greatest, toy or, computer that just came out. There are tons of different ways that you can use video in a corporate space. And if you have any questions or want to talk about how you can improve your video in your office, absolutely feel free to give us a call, again, at 800-323-2325. Again, just wanted to talk about different ways how you can upgrade your video content for your corporate spaces. My name is James. I'm a video production specialist here at Videoguys. And if you have any questions about anything that we talked about today, feel free to send us an email at sales@videoguys.com. or give us a call at 800-323-2325, and we'll see you next Tuesday at 3 o'clock Eastern.
Videoguys is available Monday through Friday. Give us a call at 1-800-323-2325. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Instagram to stay connected with all of our updates. And you can like us on Facebook. Keep an eye out for our live videos, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.